Hey everybody, it's James with Cold School. This little bitty video here is just a way to show you how the or any closed loop system for your ice chest air conditioner works. So basically, you've got a submerged radiator or copper tubing equivalent or greater than the air radiator. And you've got an air box and any kind of a fan, which you know I use inline fans. But anyway, just this is just for an example. So you have the pump. You start there. Now water would normally go in there. So it'll the water, since it's closed loop, it's pulling the water from this radiator submerged under ice, and then it goes through here, up through the radiator, so the fan can pull the air across the cold aluminum fins. And then it goes back into the radiator, circulates through here, gathering cold temperatures from the ice, and then comes back up. So what I do now, instead of bleeding the system, it's easier to, before you get started, is to fill this up with water or Freon, not Freon, sorry, water or organic antifreeze that they use on PC fans. Now this is, as you know, I've said in other videos, I use this type of latex tubing just for testing because it's cheap and I can buy a lot of it. As you can see here, I buy it on the spool like that, but when I'm building them, I'm using a soft version of this tubing here, which is like that right there. So anyway, what I did last time I built one of these, instead of bleeding it, it was a lot easier to pull this tube. I'm trying to do this with one hand. Pull that off. Fill this. I say fill this. So you can use the unit you're going to make your ice chest air conditioner out of if you want, but this, I just threw this together, not as I recommend using this fan or this box or any of that. This is just to explain how the closed loop AC circulates, works, and instead of bleeding it, how to fill it. So let's assume you've got water or organic PC antifreeze. So let's say you fill it right there. So this is submerged. So what you do is if you're using this type of power supply, you take your power supply, plug it into your 12 volt battery or into your wall outlet inverter to 12 volt. But you turn it on, and what's going to happen is water's going to come out of, if this were like a bathtub or 5-gallon bucket or whatever you've got, and you fill it up, water's going to start going through here, fill this up, and then start circulating back, fill this up, and then return back into the trough or the container. So what I do is, while it's running, since these are just pretty much low volume fountain pumps, 12 volt, while it's running, I literally use both hands and just put the return tubing on the input. And since there's no air involved when it's running, theoretically, you could actually turn this upside down. It may collect a little air in the top of here, but on a device like this, that's not going to matter. You could lay that down if you wanted to, and then just lay it down. I just put that there so you'd know that that was the air side radiator. So the last one I built, I just filled it up with water, and then while it was literally coming out where my thumb is coming out, the water, return water, I literally just peeled it back and then put it back on there, and then therefore it's all bled, and there's nothing but antifreeze or organic antifreeze or water inside your unit. Then once that's on there, you can literally remove this if you wanted to. This is just for video purposes. Of course, this would be connected here, and this would be connected, and then you can turn off once you've got it in position on the valve here on the barb. Then you can just turn your power off, and that unit is literally charged and full of water or organic antifreeze. So that's all there is to it. You can do it on any scale with any radiator. I've got larger radiators. I don't know if I've got any nearby. Yeah, like this one here on this air box here. That's another one. The one that I did it with probably a couple of months ago. I don't remember. Might have been the larger radiator. No, I think I used this. Yeah, that's right. I used this instead of the radiator. Now, I personally have not done a lot of tests with the closed loop version because it takes longer to reach equilibrium, so it takes more ice to get the circulation, the internal water up to temperature to compete with an open loop system. And so I don't do a lot of testing with those. I'll do some in the future, but to reach equilibrium it takes more ice and longer time because you're dealing with the transference of the temperature from the cold ice through normally on a open loop system, the ice water is ice cold, so it goes in, it goes straight there. It's ice cold. The radiator gets ice cold. But when you're doing it this way, the ice is sitting over here, and it has to penetrate the aluminum fins or the copper tubing to get the internal temperature of the ice water up to par to compete with the open loop system. So it takes longer to transfer that extra step because you're transferring it through another object to get to the internal water. So anyway, that's how they work. That's how you would assemble one using your own system. And I do recommend the same mass for the submerged radiator or temperature transfer method you're going to use. That or twice as big or even bigger, because what's happening is you're drawing hot air through here, and it's literally transferring the hot temperature air through the fin to the water, slightly warming it back. Then the cold ice underneath resists and fights back to then in turn penetrate the aluminum fins to cool the water to go back. So if it's traveling really fast, it's hard to keep up if you don't have the mass submerged in ice to compete with that. So I would do double or triple. That's just a suggestion. If you want cold, instant, ice cold air, use open loop. If you want to use this, just prepare that if you do closed loop, just prepare that it'll take longer to chill the water on the inside and the maintenance, and you have to reach equilibrium. I don't think 1 versus 1 on the mass is really enough. I've ran a few, but I ran one outside in the hot sun. I ran one inside, and I've used one for a day or two in the snow van that I live in and travel in. And reaching equilibrium, I never did double up, so I just went back to open loop. But it can work. It just take more ice and a little more time to reach equilibrium and having more mass under ice water to compete with the hot air going across there. So I hope y'all enjoy that. Just a quick overview of the basic idea of a closed loop homemade air conditioner. Y'all have a great day. Bye-bye.